I'm tired. So watching this series, and after I finished this series, all 10 episodes, it's becoming it's becoming depressingly clear uh, that the only time Hollywood cares about black characters is when we're suffering. And that's all we'll ever be. We'll never aspire to be anything greater than our suffering. And that's a damn shame. If you like this type of content, go ahead and drop a like on this video and click that subscribe button. Smack that notification bell so you won't miss a new upload. What's happening? I'm Purple Boy. You guys are tuning in to Purple Film. Thanks for stopping by. Go in the comments. Let your boy know, what did you think of Amazon's new series, Them? On a scale from 1 to 10, what would you rate this series? Did it meet your expectations or did it fail you miserably? I would love to hear from you guys. Let's go ahead and get into my thoughts. Those of you who don't know, Them is basically about the Great Migration. It's when, I think like millions of black families traveled from the South into the Midwest, the West, and, the Northeast areas of the United States. It's when basically they moved out and say, you know what, we got to get our shit and go, spread out across the country and, move to different regions of the country. And, and that specific event was known as the Great Migration. And that's when you had a lot of black families integrating in some parts, integrating into white neighborhoods. And of course, you can imagine the type of, racism that comes along with that. Starting off, what I like about the series, I think the show does have strong performances from the main family and from like the one evil white lady that they focus on. I think the actors across the board did a good job. The lead actress who plays the mother, I think she did a really good job. Carried a lot of carried a lot of that pain and stuff rather well, I guess. But I mean, when you think about the limitations of the actual script, she wasn't really given a whole lot to do, but really just cry and be sad and be mad and be upset. So I guess her performance, like I said, while good, is actually limited by the script itself, because she's not given a whole lot to do outside of what any other black woman is given to do in films like this. It really does suck what they did with her character. Her character is pretty much nothing, right? They make her nothing. They completely strip, they victimize her and strip her of her dignity. They strip her of so much of herself, to where all that's left is this, crazy ass woman teetering on the edge of, insanity. And throughout the series, it's giving me those sort of Jack Torrance vibes from The Shining, right? Jack Torrance is in this, large hotel. These ghosts are really getting into his mind, trying to possess him, get him to kill his family or whatever. Those are the same vibes that I'm getting with this character, with this main lead actress in this show. And they are just really messing with her mind. And again, she has almost literally nothing to do. She gets tortured, she suffers, and we really don't get to know her outside of that. We get very few scenes of tenderness with her and her husband and her daughters, right? Again, she's only defined by the one thing that happens in her past. And like literally she spends the entire series in the house. I kid you not. She goes, different places here and there, but she literally spends the entire series in the house, just freaking the fuck out. I guess that's where I kind of stopped with with the good things about this series that I liked. I mean, there are little, specific moments that I like throughout the series, but overall, this is a really bad experience. The visuals, the visuals look cool. I mean, it's very reminiscent of a Jordan Peele film. If you go back and look at stuff like Antebellum, you look at Bad Hair, and then even the upcoming Candyman, all these things look like Jordan Peele. It's like, Jordan Peele really hit with Get Out and Us. They were both box office success. And of course, with anything that's a success, Hollywood is going to try to replicate it. And that's especially bad for black creators, because we then begin to be paint in a box, right? And if you're a black creator and you have some new, fresh, innovative idea and you take it to a studio, and the first thing that's coming out their mouth, well, can you be like Jordan Peele? Just because you're freaking black, I'm pretty sure that's how conversations go. Can you be more like Jordan Peele? Well, okay, that's a cool concept for a horror movie, but is it going to be anything like Jordan Peele? Because that's the audience that we want. We want to draw the audiences that love the Jordan Peele, Get Out, and Us. Can we draw that audience? And so when you look at the cinematography in this, it's almost like scene for scene, it looks exactly what a Jordan Peele, film would exactly look like. The cinematography, I mean, there are some cool moments. I mean, it does look beautiful at times, very arresting. Few images and shots that are very creepy and terrifying. And, for the most part, I guess it works. But overall, man, I just felt like the cinematography was it felt very pretentious. Let's just say that. It felt really pretentious. I felt like a lot of shots just existed or were just in the show just to be there, right? I felt like some of these shots didn't really serve a visual narrative purpose. And it just keeps happening, right? Throughout the 10 episode series. The way it's shot, it's very intense, and it doesn't let up, and it doesn't let the audience go, and it doesn't allow you to breathe, which is a reflection of the actual series itself. And at a certain point, I just got exhausted. I'm like, it didn't even look cool to me anymore, right? Every now and then I'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. But for the most part, I'm just like, ah, damn. Oh, I'm tired of looking at this. So now we're really about to get into the really good stuff. What I mean by good stuff, like the really bad, terrible, no good shit in this series. It is constant trauma from one episode to the next, right? The series literally starts off dramatic. It starts off unsettling. It starts off putting you into the frying pan. I mean, I guess that would make sense if a black family moving into an all-white suburban neighborhood, but you don't get that sense of buildup. You don't get that sense of normalcy. You don't, get a sense of, tension being built and it leading to something. You're watching this and it's like it presents exactly what it's going to be. Like, right? It just remains static for the entire 10 episodes, right? It just remains static. It doesn't do anything different. Nothing grows, nothing lets up. It's just constant. The tone, the intense tone, the intensity of the tone, the intensity of the subject matter, and the darkness and the trauma. It just remains the same. And again, there's no buildup, there's no tension being built, there's just nothing, right? It's just literally one note for the entire length of the series. Good horror, in my opinion, pulls the rug from underneath you. There is no rug, right? There's no rug here. You're whatever you're standing in, that's what you're gonna be standing in for 10 long ass episodes. And I really do mean long ass episodes. 10 long agonizing episodes of this shit. It's definitely trauma porn. I'm gonna say that right now. It's trauma porn. It's trauma as spectacle, right? It goes from one, you know what I'm saying? It's like walking into the house of horrors, and that house of horrors, and the theme for that house of horrors was black people being traumatized and suffering. And you're basically just walking through that house of horrors, and shit in there is just meant to scare you. That's all it's meant to do. It's just meant to scare the hell out of you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, make you scared, traumatize you a little bit. That's it. Don't expect any deep characterization. Don't expect any deep narrative or story or nothing like that. Shit is just here to fucking scare you. There is no absolute reason why this had to be 10 episodes long. No reason at all. None. It's ridiculous, man. Maybe if it was shorter, the story would have had a little more focus. I think it would have, pull the reins in a little bit, because there's a lot of time spent with characters doing absolutely nothing, staring and looking at shit, waiting for the spookiness to happen. And it got to a point where I was just like, man, this is getting boring as hell. Like if we just put aside the black trauma stuff that I already don't like, it's just not a good horror series. It's boring, and it's slow, and I don't mind slow burn, but this is not the right way to do it. There's, like I said, it's heading for nothing. It's a train going right into a wall. There's nothing else left after that. The writing is incohesive, it's gratuitous, it's hella pretentious. It's a bunch of, interesting, intriguing ideas just thrown into the black trauma pot, right? I got to admit, man, the creepiest thing in the entire series was the tap dance, man. Holy shit. That horror character is, I'm not even gonna lie to you, in a better series, in a much better show, that would have been some iconic stuff. He could have gone down as one of the scariest horror figures in horror cinema or something, because I just felt like the character, what it represents, and how it was integrated into the story and integrated into one of the characters' lives. I just felt like that whole, like, what they did with it was brilliant. I actually really liked it. It was the scariest shit in the entire series. If you just had one episode focused on that only, I think it would have been great. It reminds me a lot of the twins from Lovecraft Country. You know what twins I'm talking about. Them damn things knocking at your door. Oh shit. Just thinking about that, man, gives me the damn creeps. Little Marvin is the writer and the director of this, I believe. I'm not familiar with Little Marvin. I think it's, Little Marvin. I think I'm not familiar with this gentleman's other works and other projects that he's done or whatever. But Lena Waithe is a producer. And if you know Lena Waithe, then you know that she loves her some black suffering. Dog, this movie, this series, it is, it's what Hollywood continues to put out there, right? It's like it's non-freaking stop. It's, it's just, Hollywood does not care. I thought that with the release of Black Panther, we would start to see a change. Give us more black-led action here, action films, blockbusters, sci-fi films, whatever. I want to see us in a different light. Please put us in a different light. No. Hollywood executives, which I'm sure is still largely being ran by white men who are green-lighting projects only meant to appeal to white audiences. Because I'm gonna tell you now, man, this is what happens. Let's get us a black director, a black writer, let's do a black series or movie. Let's pile on into white guilt, because for whatever reason, white folks love watching shit that makes them feel guilty, because that's what this is going to do, kind of. But for a lot of black people, they aren't going to want to sit down and watch 10 episodes of this. Maybe not everybody, maybe some of you might enjoy this and might get a few thrills out of it, but I didn't get a lot of thrills out of it. A lot of white folks are probably going to love this, though. I don't know why I say it like that, but it just has that sort of appeal to the white audience because there's no way you're gonna put something out like this and say, oh man, black and white audiences are gonna love this. I mean, that could not have been the thought process behind this. And so who's ever in charge of green lighting these projects, it's sad to think that these are the only type of stories and narratives that get greenlit. These are the only type of stories and narratives that they feel as people want to hear or want to watch on their TV screens, right? It's not. It's really not. And honestly, I think we're tired. We're really tired of watching stuff like this. Billie Holiday versus the State or America. Haven't watched that yet. Judas and the Black Messiah took me a minute just to watch that. They're coming out with another movie about FBI, taking out another, black revolutionary with the Marcus Garvey movie that they're going to be coming out with soon. Oh, wow. Great. Another one, right? Golly, man. And now with this, oh, I'm tired. I am. It's really exhausting having to constantly go through this, man, because we have so many other stories that we can tell and so many other, different backgrounds and different, places and worlds we can place ourselves in, but yet and still we keep coming back to this. Oh, let me correct that. We're not coming back to it, but the white executives, the white people running Hollywood are coming back to it, and they keep throwing this out and keep putting this out there for people to watch. They just don't care, and they limit black creators to just only telling one story, and it frustrates me that so many black creators, that's all they want to talk about. That's all they want to do. It's like, why don't you want to do different things? Why don't you want to tell different stories? Why is it this the only story that we seem to be focused on? I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope it changes. I really do. I really hope it changes. Don't watch this. It's pretty trash. It's not that great. It's not that good. It's got a few cool moments in it, but for the most part, yeah, it's not that great. We got to start. We have to get. I want to see content that looks beyond us just being black bodies, right? That's actually something that the creator of this show said, right? He wants to. There's a very horrific scene in episode 5. It is so gratuitous and so unnecessary and terrible, and it's very it's basically sensationalism, right? It's very sensational. It has no narrative purpose. It serves no purpose to teach a lesson or do anything like that. It's there for the purpose of shock value and for people to be, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is there for. And it is so horrible and so gratuitous, and I hated it so much. And I'm like, why would you do this? And the creator talked about that scene specifically and said that he wanted people to feel the horror of what America has done to black bodies. And I'm like, stop referring to us as black bodies, because that's what Hollywood sees us. That's what Hollywood see when they look at us. They see we're just black bodies, right? We're not black people. We're not black characters. We're not black humans. We're just black bodies. Come on, man. Come on, dude. God dang, boy, I tell you. Anyways, man, I'm looking forward to Without a Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan. It's an action film coming out on Amazon as well at the end of the month. Hopefully that's going to cleanse me from all this trauma shit, because your boy is tired. Y'all heard me? Go in the comments, let me know, what did you think of Them, the series? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Are you tired of this too? Do you want to see something different? I'm sure you do. Express your feelings down in the comments below. Hey, check this out. Stick around. I got more videos, you know what I'm saying, coming, because this is what I do. This is what I love. I love talking about this stuff and looking at everything from a different perspective. So stick around. Hey, and the next film you watch, man, I hope it encourages, inspires, and entertains. Thanks for watching.